90%, 9 out of every 10 students, school-age students in the state of Georgia go to a public school. And over the last 6 years or so, we've seen an $8 billion reduction in funding for public schools in Georgia. So how important are you, business partners? You're very important. And while you can't make up millions of dollars for the Newton County school system, what you do in both your time and talents and efforts working with our schools is very much needed, especially in this era where times are tight. So we very much thank you once again for all that you do. I won't belabor this much longer. I want to share some things with you that I think you might want to hear this morning, and then move to our next speaker. But I sat down for about 30 minutes yesterday. I hate that thing. And just captured some of the achievements of our public schools during this current 2011-12 school system. And I think there are things that we need to remind ourselves of about what we do accomplish in the Newton County school system. I could have put many more things down. This is just what I did in 30 minutes because we've had many individuals, students especially, by the way, and personnel as well, who have been recognized at the state level for their achievements in various endeavors. And if you get my end of month notes, I've written about those from time to time during the course of this year. But here are some reminders to all of us worth hearing this morning, I think. Herd Mixon Elementary, which we noted in December of 2011, was recognized as a 2011 Georgia School of Excellence, one of 13 schools in the state to be recognized for the greatest gains in Congressional District 8 for the past 3 years in reading and in mathematics. Also in November, or going back a month prior to December, November of 2011, Indian Creek Middle named a 2011 Georgia Breakout Middle School, one of 12 schools in the state to be so designated by the Georgia Association of Secondary School Principals for the school's academic performance and school improvement initiatives. In February of this year, Alcovy High School was designated a 2011-12 Advanced Placement Access and Support School, one of only 41 high schools in the state of Georgia to have at least 30% of their advanced placement tests taken by students who identify themselves as African American and/or Hispanic, and 30% of all AP exams earning scores of a college level 3 or higher on the advanced placement exam. Also, in February of this year, Alcovy High, 2011-12 winner of the Helen Ruffin Regional Reading Bowl held at Clayton State University. Students had to read all 20 Georgia Peach books and had to retain information on each of them. And Alcovy finished third of 16 high schools in the Reading Bowl divisional competition throughout Georgia. In February of 2012, Eastside High School, its 2011-12 state mock trial team earned a berth in state competition for the first time ever for Eastside High. Mock trial is an extracurricular activity that pairs students with legal professionals and challenges those students to study the facts of a fictional case based loosely on a real case, build their own case, and play the parts of prosecutor, defense attorney, and witness in a real courtroom before a real judge. Put another way, that's real learning. Alcovy High, Eastside High, Newton High, 3 of only 207 high schools in Georgia to receive state funding for attending the upcoming 2012 Advanced Placement Summer Institutes as our school system really gears up to advance the rigor that we have in our high schools here, consistent with the new Common Core state standards and the new Georgia performance standards that come out of the National Common Core curriculum. Newton County School System, as we mentioned in February of this year, winner of 71 out of 150 ribbons in the Griffin Risa Science Fair, or 47% of all the ribbons awarded. Newton County School System enjoyed 15 first place, 26 second place, and 30 third place finishers. March of this year, Eastside High School, the academic champions for the state of Georgia in Class AAA for the second straight year. as these students in their academic competition with other schools around the state. In AAA Eastside, for the second year, the state champions. Now, I'd rather have that in the state football championship. That's just me. You may not see that. That's just me. I just would. And I'm pleased to say they defeated St. Pius X for that championship as well. You know, just for what it's worth. Just a side note. April of this year, Liberty Middle School recognized for outstanding progress on state criterion reference competency test by the Governor's Office of Student Achievement. Now, I really could go on and on. That was just 30 minutes. I sat down yesterday afternoon and typed some of this up. But we've had numerous other recognitions. So what I want you, excuse me, allergies are killing me. What I want you to know in part this morning is our school system has a ways to go in a number of areas in terms of student achievement, like most other Georgia school systems, I might add. But I will say we've made some significant progress. And these are just some of the illustrations of that progress that you as business partners help us, knowingly or not, help us achieve. And I will tell you, on a very tough AYP system that's now no longer in place, the prediction of our school district was not very good coming into last year, but we outperformed those predictions tremendously so, with many of our schools doing very, very well, despite a very high ceiling on the No Child Left Behind AYP, which now has changed with a new accountability system, which I think may prove to be even more rigorous. But we're working, I think, on the right things. Our folks are committed to those things, and I can't say enough about our teachers and principals as to what they do each and every day. So with that, I'm pleased to turn the podium over, and this echoing microphone, Hunter, to our director of the Chamber of Commerce, the Covington-Newton County Chamber of Commerce. He has been really a very strong supporter of our public schools, and he understands the importance of public education to this county and to our state, and a friend indeed he has been. So without further ado, let's welcome Hunter Hall.
I do understand public school, and one of the things that was always one of my greatest angst growing up was parent-teacher conference day in my house, and it's really kind of played over to this event because I see all my kids' principals today, and they all kind of pigeonhole me in the corner and say, "Hey, we need to talk before you leave." So it is a little uncomfortable, but in all seriousness, my kids are pretty much solely responsible for all those awards that you just referenced, and so I'm glad to do my part. Once again. So anyway, in all seriousness, this is a privilege for the Chamber to participate with the school board and the school system and the principals, because it's so critical. It is such the foundation to our community. And one of the things that you've heard the Chamber begin to really start stump on in this last year is workforce development, and the absolute essential need to continue to create the pipeline of workers, employees, not only in soft skills, in terms of their ability to make eye contact, shake hands, have conversation, present themselves well, but also the hard skills in terms of actually training and producing graduates that fit the need that our employers are looking for. Not necessarily just producing graduates that the employers say, "You have no skills that I need." And so we got to find that match, and we're happy to do it. Our Principal for the Day program that we partnered with y'all was probably the most significant thing our business community has engaged in with you guys, apart from the Partners in Ed, which many of the Partners in Ed were the Principal for a Day, because you walked in, these business owners walked into your world and tasted, touched, felt, smelt what it's like to be a principal. And they walked out with an enormous respect. And that doesn't always get translated well, but I think we're making those moves, so we're glad to do it. Not to mention our local industry working with Newton College and Career Academy and helping the career pathways and such. That is so positive and so encouraging. But this morning, we're here to talk about day in, day out partners who come to your schools, who buy cupcakes for Student of the Month awards, who fund and give gift certificates, and who show up and help you carry the load. And so we want to acknowledge that. This program is called Cornerstone. This is a program that's been going on for many years, over 130 partners. Some of those partners have multiple schools that they work with, and it has really grown into a great success. And from a chamber standpoint, we are really really elated that the business community is engaging, that social service civic clubs are engaging and helping you do what is so critical and what is so often unappreciated at the end of the day. So that being the case, what we're going to do and how this works is you as principals know you submit nominations for your company that helps you, and then we review and help make selection, and we're going to acknowledge and recognize some of those today. But before I do, I want to give you a quick heads up. Last year, the award winner was Oxford College at Emory in their partnership with Palmer Stone, and you all know what happened to Palmer Stone. So be careful if you win this year. I'm just kidding. Everybody knows it's a good read. But anyway, we got a lot of applicants. Really fun to read those, review them, and help participate in that. But this year, definitely one stood out above the rest. This partner has provided positive, constructive work environment for the school's CBI program, which is the community-based instruction students. These students are students that have a host of a range in skill sets. Some are autistic, some might be nonverbal, some are wheelchair bound. But this partner in particular gave job opportunities to those CBI participants. Things like rolling silverware and setting tables, things that you and I might take for granted, but for them it gives purpose and meaning and some significance. But they didn't just stop at that. They also took those kids' pictures, put them in the place of business, and let their patrons see this is the team that helps us be a great success. But it wasn't it either. When those CBI students were doing fundraisers, they proudly let those students display their fundraising goods and sold them there at the business, obviously cutting into some of their profits if they're selling candy bars and so on and so forth. But even in years past, this company has gone so far as to host a prom for those students, and that's the kind of partner that this company is. In addition to the CBI program, they've also helped facilitate the pregame meal for this particular school, and helped with the Newton County School System new teacher program with door prizes and things of that nature. So you get a flavor for this company, their involvement. We talked before we came in, and they were telling us how much they love giving back, that it's an intrinsic motivator. It drives the value and the culture of the company. So at this time, to get me out of the way, I want to introduce my friend LaQuanda Carpenter, the principal from Alcovy High School, also a Leadership Newton County committee. So we get a lot of time together. And she's going to present this year's Partner in Education recipient, Frank's Restaurant. And representing Frank's is Chris Castellana and Keith Fuller. Y'all please come on. We're going to take a picture real quick. Slide back. Miss Vineyard's going to boss us around.
You hold it. Good morning. It's my pleasure as the principal of Alcovy High School to be a partner with Frank's Restaurant and the Castellana family. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with Frank's Restaurant and the Castellana family. They've been around the community for a very, very long time. They're staples in our community. Mr. and Mrs. Castellana live right behind Alcovy High School, and they have 5 children, Joanna, Michael, and Emmanuel, who are twins, Chris, Vivian, Chris, Joanna, Emmanuel, and Michael. 5 children. And Mr. and Mrs. Castellana and their 5 children who contribute to the Frank's Restaurant and the business, they are just an amazing family. They are amazing business owners. They believe in the Alcovy community, but they also believe in the Newton County community, and what they do for our students, guys, is just absolutely amazing. It warms my heart when I look at my CBI population and their interaction at Frank's, their interaction with the family. My CBI students, and I believe the teachers as well, believe that Frank's was opened and opens every day and operates every day, especially and only for them. I mean, they really believe that Frank's opens and operates for them, and it's nobody else's restaurant. This is our restaurant. But it is amazing when those students go into the restaurant, they interact with the Castellano family, they interact with the customers, they do work behind the scenes that, we go in as customers and we eat and we consume the food and don't really think about the hard work that went in when our students were rolling napkins or rolling silverware. To them, it's extremely important, and it helps them to have motivation and energy for coming to school every day. When I arrived at Alcovy in 2009, the Castellano family were one of the first families I met. They welcomed me with open arms. We've been able to establish and build a relationship. We're on a first name basis. I actually woke up this morning and was worried that no one would be here, so I called Joanna at about 6:30 this morning. She assured me someone would be here. But they give back to our community. They don't just partner for a day or for a year, they've partnered for a lifetime. And it's just my pleasure, and it's my pleasure as the principal to be able to have worked with this family, to have built a relationship with them, and to really get a deeper understanding of what the meaning of partner really is and what it stands for. So without further ado, if you all want to say a few words, you're more than welcome to. But
I just want to say thank you from all the staff at Frank's, and it's a pleasure to give back to the community, and hope we can keep doing it in the future. And we always look forward to all the kids and doing whatever we can do. So when y'all need something, just call us. We'll always be there.
I want to make sure there are a lot of other partners in Ed who are here today. If you hadn't received a certificate from your partner's principal, they have something for you, and you want to make sure to see them before the day is over. So,
Who's next? Sherry? That's it?
All right, listen, on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, the Board of Education, Faculty Administration, will you give me the wink?
No, I said make sure everybody eats.
Oh, yeah.
Got plenty of food.
That's right. There's to-go boxes sponsored by Frank's. You guys are over the top. You're always thinking. But in all seriousness, thank you very much for coming. Partners in Ed, thank you for your undergirding the school system. Board of Education, admin, principals, outstanding work. What a great year. What a great several years. Let's give everybody a hand. You're dismissed.